From Sydney is now Salvatore Babones. He is American sociologist and professor at University of Sydney. Professor Babones, really appreciate your time. India certainly is sitting on a cusp. What do you think will change on 22nd of January when the consecration ceremony actually happens in Ayodhya?
I think you had said exactly the right word, which is this is an important milestone for India's sociology, not a milestone for India's politics. The real change here is sociological. This kind of completes the transition of India from being a country molded in a Nehruvian vision for democracy to a country, let's face it, molded in an RSS and VHP vision of democracy. Now, I know that a lot of people would be very upset to hear that, but the fact is both are visions of democracy. It's not a matter of one is democracy, one is autocracy or authoritarianism. I think that kind of dichotomy is ridiculous. But I think we should recognize that these are different visions of democracy and different ways that people think about what their country means to them.
Yes, but Professor Babones, because there have been fault lines which have been almost integral or part of the Ayodhya narrative. Do you see those melt in Ayodhya or merge, if I may use that word?
No, I mean, what's really going to happen here is that the RSS and through the RSS, the BJP has really accomplished its main goals as an opposition party. Now, it may sound ridiculous to talk about the BJP as having been an opposition party for the last 10 years, but socially speaking, it's behaved as an opposition party. Even as it has been in power, even as it has governed the country, it's had the mindset of an opposition party opposing India's establishment. I think now, after January 22nd, the BJP will have to sit back and look at things. The whole RSS will have to sit back and look at things and realize, well, we're the establishment now. They've accomplished their core goals that they've been working on, well, really for 100 years now. Having accomplished those core goals, really, they now have to start thinking about moving forward. What is the next step? What does the future mean for political Hinduism? What does the future mean for the BJP if it no longer can cast itself as this scrappy opponent of the establishment trying to attain this recognition for the organized Hindu faith in Indian politics? I think now it simply has to accept that it represents the establishment, and frankly, the Congress is now the leader of the anti-establishment movement in Indian politics.
Okay, so if it is about political Hinduism, then would you then agree with the decision of India's grand old party that they will not be attending the ceremony?
Obviously, it's their choice to boycott the event. Personally, I think it's a politically ill-advised choice in that the Congress really should be seeing itself as a national party. And if it wants to be a national party and remain a national party, and let's be honest, whatever its electoral performance in the last two elections, it's still getting 20% of the vote. How that translates into Lok Sabha seats depends on the complex arithmetic of multi-party democracy. But it still is a national party with a national voter base. And to remain a national party with a national voter base, of course, it has to pay respect to India's majority religion in the same way that I am certain that the Congress would pay respect to minority religions in India. It certainly should be there from an electoral standpoint. However, from a messaging standpoint or from a symbolic standpoint, its resistance to appear, its reluctance to appear, reflects exactly what I've said, that Congress is no longer the establishment in India. Now, Indians may think, Salvatore, that's we don't need you to tell us that, but I really think this is a symbolic moment psychologically for both the Congress, well, certainly for the BJP, and ultimately for the Congress. It now has to behave as the national challenger. And I suspect electorally as the national challenger, being there, showing respect, protesting obviously the BJP where it needs to, but nonetheless being part of this ritual simply because it's an important ritual for so many Indians, not because it aligns with any particular ideology.
So if religiosity is the focal point, then one may argue that parties who are not going to attend or who have decided to boycott will face some kind of electoral backlash?
Other people are much better positioned to comment on that than I am. I'd just like to hopefully clarify things for viewers and clarify things by pointing out to them that this Ram Mandir opening is not a political event. It's how that event is seen by the Congress. It may even be how the event is seen by the BJP. But for Indians, my very strong impression is that this is viewed as a religious event, not as a political event. And that's why Congress really should be at the event. They should be there even though they know that the BJP is trying to score political points from it. They should be there to show their respect to the Hindu faith and to their believers who they want as voters. They don't have to kowtow in any way to the BJP by simply being present.
All right, Professor Salvatore, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.